Hello YouTube, Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's video. Today is going to be a very general overview of processing your FBA items to get them out for Amazon. It's Monday morning, it's Labor Day. What are we on? The 5th of September. And this video was inspired by a request from my friend Brandy, who wanted to know she asked me, she says, can you go over like your general processing of the items when you get it back into the office? So we are in the office. This is like my little kitchenette, and I can't really show you the rest because I've got product everywhere. And so we're gonna pretend and do some mock-ups here in the kitchen. But that's good though, because a lot of us started out at the kitchen table, right? We don't have much space, we don't have much area. It's definitely nice to move into the warehouse here, but it is very expensive. I'm still dealing with that. But regardless, we're gonna go over some general things. And I'm gonna show, let's see here. For me, processing is kind of two parts. One, it's like the part that doesn't change. My process for processing an order time after time is very much the same, and that's what we're gonna go through. It's generally clean up your area, get an area, clean it up, get your supplies out, do your packing, and then get it shipped out. The second part to this is, I keep kicking my foot on that chair there. The other part to this though is based on what the items are, it's going to vary slightly because some things it's easier to pack one way than another. Let's take books. Books are easier, and bras. Books are easier to go, and when you are listing, to either do it as an inventory lab batch from Scoutify and then scan and print out the barcode, put the barcode with the item somehow, and then go and pack each one. And as you pack them, you're going to label them. Whereas if you have, let's say, 100 packs of candy that are going to be a 2-pack, you print out 100 labels, and then it's easier to just bag them and then tag them and work that way. So, you got to feel around with what your items are. We have printed out, we have batched things up on the table and then printed out and put the labels on top because, maybe we have 5 of this and 3 of this and 6 of this, and we've done it that way as well. Going more into wholesale, I now have more like, I have 24 of this and 100 of this, and it's easier to kind of batch them out. But we're going to start at the beginning and just kind of go over, and as we're going over the general process, I will share with you what tips I've got as they come to mind, because I've been doing this for a few years, and sometimes things seem very natural. But when I hired somebody new this summer, that didn't work out. But when I hired somebody new, we kind of went through this process a lot, and I didn't think it was very complicated. I'm not going to get into that. All right, first things first, you got to find an area to work. It could be on the ground, it could be on the bed, it could be on your kitchen table, it could be inside, it could be outside. When I am at my mother's house, sometimes it's better to be in a back room out of the way, because my mom is notorious. I'll set up on the kitchen table and she'll be like, yeah, I'm not using the table at all. And then an hour or two later, she's like, oh, I need to set the dinner table. And I'm like, oh my God, I just set up all my stuff, Mom. And then when I'm at my uncle's house, because I'll do Q4 shopping down there for Black Friday, they've got like a little dinette and a little corner. I said, just give me a little corner that I can put all my shopping bags and then a little table space. And I have worked on the bed, on the table, etc. So find a space. I know my friend Sean, he has his computer set up in a closet because that's what works for them, and that's a little nook that they can dedicate and not have their area messed up. You need to find an area. If you have animals and you're going to pack food stuff, be aware of that. If you have cats and you're going to pack things that cats want to get into, be aware of that. If you have little kids, maybe not pack all of the candy or have a bunch of candy sitting out on the table, or do it in a time where they are not around. I have had my dogs eat things. I've had my husband eat things. I have had my kids come down and like take a couple packs of candy, and I'm like, knock it off. So, plan for whatever area you're in. I don't think I've ever really packed in a public area per se. I've done like out of the back of a car and stuff, but I do know that there are public areas maybe that you could go to if you needed that. Let's say that you were, worst case scenario, living out of your car or traveling or whatnot. Hotels, I have packed out of a hotel, but you can do maybe a public area and make that work. When I was in the hotel, that was difficult too, because I needed an area and I wanted to make sure that if we had cleaning services that they weren't going to come in and things were bagged up. In between packing, I will put things in a box, in a trash bag, in a reusable grocery bag, in a plastic container, in a tub, whatever, so that it's all contained and it's not going to have a drink spilled on it. It's not going to have a dog come and get into it, whatever. So we're going to start off playing here. We're at a kitchen table. This was my kitchen table at home. It's been used and abused. It's probably 15 years old. So it is hard to tell if it's clean or not, and it's got stuff on here. I left that on here. So the first thing, once you've found a spot, you're going to clear out anything that you don't need, and you're going to clean the table. I don't care if you used it 5 minutes ago, just clean it. I have had let's see here. The worst things are if you have those drinks that have a powder and or like a Jello powder, you know, that gets on the table and then it stains red. I have had dirt and smudge and whatnot, and you just don't want it on your product. So way back in the day, that was like first rule implemented when doing business, was to clean your work area. And that was one thing that the person that I hired this summer was just, he had a hard time with it. I don't know why that was such a hard time, but we get boxes in all the time. The boxes are nasty. If you've ever done any research on boxes, like the outside is dusty, dirty, nasty, and that's where a lot of cockroaches lay their eggs. So I don't like the outside of boxes coming in on pallets and whatnot for those reasons of working in industries where we would get a lot of pallets in, and it's just gross. You find all sorts of, if you do black lights and stuff, it's like go Google it, because I don't really want to talk about it. It's that disgusting. All right, so I'm going to clean up the table, get my items moved, and get it cleaned, and we'll be right back. And we're back. As far as cleaning materials go and what you use, that's kind of, again, up to you. Just use something. A lot of times we like the Myers around here. There's I don't have one, but the Myers has a lot of good smells. I personally love Lysol. It just smells clean, right? It smells clean, and it's to fight COVID. We started trying to use those types of things as COVID happened, just anything that's going to kill bacteria and be extra clean around the office. So you want to be clean for general your products, but you also want to be clean for COVID these days. Now, this is from my clean table. I tell you, this is my clean table, and we have literally like cleaned a table, done something that we don't think is very dirty, cleaned it again, and we're like, wow, okay, those boxes were really dirty. You just don't see the dirt. Okay, so once your table is cleaned up, the next thing we're gonna do is get our supplies and our product. And I'm just gonna grab things around the office to show you what that would look like. So I've got our product. Today we are going to be packing FBA labels because that's what I have laying around. And I went over to my poly bag drawer. Oh, these bags are stuck together. Don't you love it? We once had poly bags come in and there was like random bugs in them that had gotten processed in with the bags. It was gross. Anyhow, these ones are all stuck together. Fun times. It happens. So I've got the bags. I've got my faux FBA labels. Pretend that these are FBA labels, that they're printed out. And we're gonna pretend we're doing a 2-pack, so you want this is a set. But the idea is to get your product out, get your supplies out. This way you remember that, you know, this is a set, it's got the FBA label. If there's any other packaging materials you need for it, if there's any other supplies, when I am doing clothing, I will have a lint roller near with me, and I will have some unscented baby wipes, because if there's that smudgy dirt that you find at the retail stores, that comes right off with a unscented baby wipe. So I will have my baby wipes and I will have a lint roller. Let's see here, what else? If I need gripper tape, I will have the gripper tape handy. I'm trying to think, looking around, what else is there? If I need to remove any labels or goo or gunk, I use you know what, I'll just grab them. There. So I've got just, what is this, Signature Care. It's like no name brand sensitive wipes. I don't believe they have much of a smell. They're unscented. Goo Gone and lighter fluid are great to get any sort of goo off a product. And then, of course, I forgot the stupid spray. I think it's under the counter over here. Yeah. This is my favorite glass cleaner. This will get off a lot of schmut on things. So if I've gotten in things that are really dusty, dirty, or they just feel like they have some I call it warehouse grime on them, and I will use this spray, paper towel, or a microfiber. All right, laundry baskets. Laundry baskets are great. You can also just use boxes. When you're done with something, we often load up our laundry basket with the items just to move around, get ready to be packed into FBA boxes. Sometimes it will go right into the FBA box. That's great. Sometimes we got to put the shipment together and then see where Amazon says to go put it, because it's not always where you think it's going to go. So use a box if you have it. Grab laundry baskets at garage sales, at the thrift stores. I think I pay $2 to $5 for laundry basket. I don't pay up. I'm pretty cheap. I buy used. Okay, then you just start packing. We often will play music. I don't care usually if people wear headphones, because honestly the process of putting stuff in a bag is pretty monotonous. These guys, they stick. They stick to you. They stick to you. They stick to you. Little trick. This, whatever these are on the back of the paper, it sticks to that. So we will often take these out of the trash, you know, the used ones, just because when you're done with your FBA labels, you usually have tons of this stuff laying around, and just put it on the table and boom, it will stick to it. So you take these off, it sticks to you, goes like that. And or you can take your packing tape and just put a little bit of packing tape, curl the edges, stick that to the table, and then you have something that will stick that, whatever these are. I don't know what this is technically called. A seal, I don't know, little thingy. Okay, don't have somebody's got to know the name of that, right? All right, from your product, you're gonna wanna make sure it's very tight. Amazon says any leftover bag that's 2 inches overlap, let's say this bag was 2 inches taller or 2 inches wider, you'd want to fold that over and tape it down. And that's because when it runs through the conveyor belts, it can get stuck. That extra plastic tends to get stuck in their belts. At least that's what they told me. I don't know if that's true or not. Now, you can either sit here and put 2 in a bag and do 2 in a bag, 2 in a bag, 2 in a bag, or you do 1 at a time. There's some debate over this. I've debated my lean project manager a few times over this. We actually had to take a course in Kaizen and Six Sigma and lean processing and whatnot. Their claim is doing things by batches is not as efficient as doing them all together. Now, I somewhat tend to disagree, but I don't know. Whatever, there's no right or wrong answer. So now I've got it labeled. On this one, I did do this way, but on some round things, I usually go with the curve because the barcode scanner, if it's too curved, it's not going to read it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here. This might be a better way because then the barcode's flat versus curved. The other way that I was talking about is doing it up and down horizontally. Might be better because it's less curved. And then the do not separate sticker, it doesn't really matter. I do try not to cover up the warning. I think this is the most useless warning in the world. I could go on my rant. I don't think anybody sits down and really reads this, and I have not. I mean, clearly people shouldn't put bags over their head, but at some point in the day, you gotta let Darwinism play out. But personal opinions. Okay, so I don't cover up this. If these guys had, let's say these guys had a barcode. If they had a barcode on the bottom, which a lot of products do, when I pack it, I'm going to go like that. So now no barcode is going to be read. right? Now let's say they had a barcode on the side. Okay, we're pretending. Barcode on the side. These barcodes, I will either pack it like that, which doesn't make sense in this case, or I will pack it like this and put it so that the barcode is facing the writing, and then thus the chances of it getting scanned, not so good. Every once in a while, we will take a label and, you know, blank label and just cover up the barcode. And this one doesn't do as good. I'm not gonna seal this bag, but you can see how the barcode now gets covered up by the writing, so it's harder for the FBA people to scan. In this case, we would just let this one ride and it's there. I think they can clearly see it's a 2-pack. But a lot of times, you know, we'll pack something up and we'll do, you know, we'll mock it up, and then we will ask the other person, you know, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think this one's okay or not okay? And you just got to do the best you can. Don't get super duper duper hung up on it. I used to sit there and really, really overthink it. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't send this in because this barcode is showing, and trying to figure out how to not have it show, and then using another FBA label to cover it up. You can do it inside or outside of the bag. We've done that before with, say, baby blankets or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was like clothing, and you could see the price and stuff. And we just put a barcode over the outside so that you couldn't scan the inner barcode. If it makes you feel better, if you feel there's going to be problems with it, go for it. If you feel that it's just overkill and people shouldn't be stupid, then, you know, go that way. The worst case scenario is Amazon will have to reprocess your item and relabel it and or fix it. And I think you get charged, we'll say 20 cents maybe. So, you know, weigh that into consideration if you miss a label or skip a label, and your time. What was it? I got flagged for not labeling 36 items a couple months ago. They must have just forgot to label it, and they charged me, I want to say it was 20 cents. I'd have to go back and verify. So let's say you've packed up all your FBA stuff and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I forgot to label 3 things. Okay, you got to weigh that in your mind. Is it worth $1 to go in there and fix it? Does it give you peace of mind? Or are you one of those people that are like, well, whatever, Amazon will catch it, they'll relabel it, they'll charge me what they charge me, and it's not worth my time to go in there for possibly a $2 charge and a small ding on your account. And for shipping performance, I don't know how many dings you can get. They're not as weighed as heavy as, say, an IP complaint or customer complaint of some sort. So, you know, think about it, because I definitely have sent stuff out the door and I'm going, oh my gosh, I can't remember if I labeled that right, or did I do this, did I do that, did I remember this or that? And for me, a lot of times it's easier just to fix it and give me my peace of mind than to let it ride. I have a hard time letting things ride. So personal preference there. All right, once your items are labeled and whatnot, we stick them into the bucket and push through the batch. In Inventory Lab, and I'm assuming y'all are processing through Inventory Lab, you're going to, I guess it would be kind of the same scenario if you're in Seller Central, but you're going to send it to Amazon and say, where do you want me to ship this thing? There's some manipulation that you can do. As you can see, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We would have 6 of these 2-packs. 6 2-packs in the batch. In Inventory Lab, if you enter the number 1 and or the number 18 for quantity, you have a better chance of it going to the same location. You can then change that quantity plus or minus by 6. So in this case, I would put in Inventory Lab that I have 1. I would print out 6 labels. I would get them all printed. I would push through the batch, and then I'd say, oh no, I really have 6. And they'd all 6 go to the same location. If you don't do that and you say, Amazon, I have 6 of these, they're going to say, send 2 here and send 2 here and send 3 here. And they're going to be silly about it. These types of items are not worth it to do in separate batches, unless if you have, you know, a 20-pound box with 30 items in it. It's just not worth the extra shipping to have your items spaced out like that. If I had, we'll say 15 of these guys, I would then put in the number 18 and subtract it down to 15. If you're in the range of 7 to 11, you can't do this trick. You're not going to be able, you either have to send in 7 or you have to kill it from the batch. We've done both. And a lot of times, let's say I had 12 here. I would just say, put in 1, I'd send out 7, and tomorrow's batch, I'd send out the rest, because I'm not going to sit here and fiddle-faddle with it and have 12 be broken up into 3 different batches. I'll just, you know, I'm shipping things out on a weekly, if not daily basis, so I'll send in 7 today and 5 tomorrow. Same process, I'll put in 1. When we get to the end, I'll adjust it up to 5. All right, things like sprays and air canisters are going to go hazmat. Hazmat shipping would be for a different day. If you have anything that's over 18 inches in the Amazon catalog, that is going to go to a different fulfillment center. Shoes will go to a different fulfillment center. Sometimes baby clothes will go to a different fulfillment center, and or clothing will go to a different fulfillment center. Anything that's not what I just described usually goes to your standard. You'll have one. You'll have one that like 90% of your stuff goes to, and that's your one. For me, it's SMF 3, and I can say probably 90% in here will go to SMF 3. The categories that I have are kitchen items, lots of Halloween candy going out, housewares, baby items, household, a lot of household today. A lot of household and candy, and that will all go to SMF. If it goes to a different center and it is one of those products, you gotta weigh. Like, my bras all go to a different center, so it doesn't make sense typically for me to ship out 2 to 15 bras. I wanna build up until I have about 20 more bras, so that they all go to one center, and the price I'm paying per shipping to that center makes it worth my while. I like to have my average shipping price per item be 50 cents or lower. So these guys, if I put them in and I'm only doing 6, the cost of shipping is probably going to be around $12. I'm just guessing guys, based off the weight and everything. We'll say it's $12 for 6 of them. Well, that's like $2 a piece. I don't know what my profit margin on this fake product is, but $2 eating into your profit margin is usually too significant to do a batch. You want to make sure your batches are worth it. Our typical batches these days are between 1 and 400 items. When we're lining up to get, let's say we have a batch of 300 items, we will line up the boxes, and on the outside we're going to write box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a number. I typically will circle it because sometimes they have numbers written on it, and I know a circled number is my number. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and start filling up the boxes, and either scan and put them into a box or just go over to the system. Adrian, sorry, I don't normally use her name, but one of my packers and I use 2 different methods. Her method drives me crazy. She will pack up boxes, and as she's packing up, she writes on a notepad what goes in there. So in this scenario, she would write 6 FBA labels going into box 1. So she'll have the box number, like we'll say box 2 dash FBA labels dash 6. She knows she's got 6 going into box 2. So she packs up all the boxes, she writes everything down, or she writes it on the lid of the box. We do that a lot too. Write down what's in the box on the lid of the box. So on the lid of the box, it will say 6 FBA labels. And then she goes over to the computer and just assigns everything. She sits down and assigns it all. Me, I hate doing that. I hate doing that. I feel like it's just got too much error, and I'll forget things, and I don't know. I just don't like it. As I am loading up boxes, I will scan them in. Let me go get my scanner real quick. This is my scanner. I think it was $13. It was one of the best things I ever bought. It's probably my best. One of the best things. You ever buy something and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I live without this? It's called a Hutu. I don't think the brand name really matters. I have these types of supplies all linked down below in my Amazon affiliate store if you are wanting to just go and click an order. Gives me a little kickback. It's kind of nice. So this guy, you can go into Amazon or Inventory Lab when you're assigning things to boxes and scan to pack. And you literally just scan the FBA label. It will pick it up. It will add it to that box. So I will go up to box 1, scan, put in, scan, put in, scan, put in. If you only have 4 items and it's 20 of each, yes, writing it on the lid makes much more sense than scanning 20, like you know it's 20. But if you have a box that has 60 items and there's really like 50 SKUs, then scanning to pack makes a lot more sense. So I pulled some of Adria's notes. I had to redact a little bit, but that's okay. So we've got, this is how she writes it down, like, and then what do we got down below here? Box size, and these are probably weights down here, just little scribble notes. Got another one here. We've got items up here that she added, and then she will go through and do all of the weights. So these are all 19, 14, 17 boxes, which is your medium box. We've got box 1 through box 9 and how much poundage it is. So she will go through and write that all down. And on that the page where you have to go get the actual labels to print out, just go through and enter in all of the weights. If we are working in groups, we will have somebody weigh and then shout over to the computer, and somebody sit at the computer and enter it in, and they'll say, oh, box 1 is a 19, 14, 17, and it weighs 28 pounds, and somebody will enter it. We've done the same with packing too, where somebody will stand at the box and pack up and holler off, I'm putting 5 of this in there, and they'll go and assign it. But, I know a lot of you guys don't have multiple people packing with you. Maybe you're a husband and wife team, and that would work for you. Maybe you're a solo team, so writing it down keeps in track. The other thing that we will sometimes do instead of writing it on a sheet of paper is just write it on top of the box. So we have the 1 circled to denote box 1, and then on the top we will put 28 LB for pounds, or write out pounds. And then I usually use boxes that have, new boxes will have the dimensions on there if you're getting Walmart boxes, which are the cheapest boxes. But if you're reusing boxes, I see some boxes being reused here, we'll measure the boxes and put that on the top too, that this is a 20 by 12 by 15 box up on the top. And then write it down or go over to the computer and enter it in. That's it. Now our boxes are all lined up. I have a designated area for incoming stuff. We have designated areas for in-process stuff that look like this. I mean, literally there's stuff piled all around that looks like this, and we will get them processed. And then I have an outgoing area where all of my outgoing shipments are. I've got 3 FBA boxes over there. It's not enough to call for a pickup yet. Maybe call for one tomorrow. Plus it's Labor Day. Like, who wants to call? I don't want to call and make a pickup on Labor Day. I'm hoping to get, I don't want to say a half day, but I don't want to be here quite the full day. And if you aren't familiar, Pirate Ship, you can schedule a UPS pickup for $3.80. For me, just loading up all this junk and then driving it down and then coming back to the office would be at least a half an hour. And there's wear and tear on my back, and there's gas money. So $3.80, please come pick it up. That's so worth it. It's like totally worth, depending on where you are and the ease of it, it's worth the hassle and problems of getting it in and out, especially during the winter when it's like cold and rainy. I have drag boxes to the UPS store in the snow, in the hail, uphill both ways back in my day. But $3.80 is a godsend. I love it. I schedule at least 1 or 2 a week. They come, they pick it up. It's really that easy. I have had in my old house, I would just leave the garage door cracked before we got the new garage door that's automatic. You can give them your garage door opener if you so want, or the code to get into your thing. My lady here is on vacation, but I will be giving her a key to the office so that she can come and go as she pleases. She says that's what most Amazon people do. Just get to know your Amazon or your, what do you call them, UPS people, and make friends with them. Some of them I even have programmed into my phone. My guy, it's old, so I don't have my new ladies, but during Q4, if you need to message them or whatnot, that comes in really handy if you make friends. That's why I also keep chocolates and candies and snacks and drinks around, because you look at the cost for doing business and look at the cost of if you get a couple free pickups and whatnot, it saves you a lot of money. I would say for the amount of pickups that I have paid for, I have had more free pickups just because I am nice to them and they are dropping something off and they'll take something with them. Like today, if they dropped off today and they saw, oh, you only got 3 boxes, let me grab that for you. Well, you just saved me $3.80. I don't know what does a case of water cost these days. I think you can get it for as low as $4 at Costco. I'm trying to remember a case of water at Costco. Let's say $5. $5 for a case of water, and I just saved $3.80 for not having to pay for a pickup, and you took my stuff. Yeah, that's easy decision right there. And then in the Q4 crunch time, I will even make more of a fuss over my delivery people because they will be here on a daily basis. We better be friends. You don't want to piss them off. The only one that I'm having trouble with in the new place is my USPS guy is kind of grumpy, and like I scheduled a pickup on Thursday or Friday last week and they didn't come. I don't know. We've got to get on the same page, and it's kind of been a couple different people, so I'm not sure which one it is. I have 2 or 3 that circled the joint, and haven't figured that all out yet. But UPS, we're on good terms. Even the vacation guys I'm familiar with, and the guy that covers on her days off, and the FedEx guy is amazing too. So I just got to work on my post people. I hope this helped you out, Brandy, and it's probably a little bit more in depth. Probably could have been a little bit more succinct, but I think sometimes just seeing somebody's process and seeing the little nitty gritty on what you do it helps. When I'm doing things that are dirty, let's say I did used books. When I used to do used books, my process was to line up my books and then clean them. And I used the spray away. I cleaned them all. Then I would go scan and get my labels, and then I would sit down and label them all. Then I would scan them to pack. So you just got to tweak it up for whatever you're processing and see what works for you. That's all I got, man. I got to get back to work now. Take care and have an amazing day.